Hi, Sagittarius. Welcome to Pandora Astrology's monthly horoscope for June of 2021. Well, this month's themes are going to be pretty much relationship themes. That's probably where you're going to experience the most drama, and some communication mishaps are likely to happen as well. And if you want help with that, you can get a lifelong love reading at the link in the YouTube description below. Well, the main news of the month is that Juno is retrograde, bringing relationship stuff. Mercury is retrograde, bringing communication stuff. And there's a solar eclipse, which makes us look at our own shadows. So let's kick this off with Mercury. Julia, are you ready to look at good old Merc?
Oh, yeah. Well, hey there, Sagittarius. Good old Merc. He starts the month off retrograde. He does this 3 times a year, so we're all very, very used to it, but it does cause some issues, which you should be aware of. So Mercury starts the month retrograde in your 7th house. This is the house of your relationship with your partner. If you've got a boyfriend, girlfriend, or spouse, it also rules business partnerships, and it also rules consultants. So expect some miscommunications with the partners in your life. Maybe you guys walk away from the same conversation with totally different meanings. So, be open-minded to having to go back over things. Also, this is not a great time for hiring a new consultant or signing a contract. If you can put it off until after the 22nd, that would be so much better, because on the 22nd, Mercury is going to start moving direct. He's still not fully finished with the cycle. It takes a little bit of time after that, but we're making progress out of it, and things are going to get a lot smoother. Then Mars, the planet of action and activity, starts the month in your 8th house. This is the house of other people's money. So the money that you share with people close to you, like a partner. Not easy if you guys are having miscommunications about that at the same time, as well as money you might share with your family members, like through an inheritance. It also includes money you share with institutions like mortgages, loans, those types of things. So you might run into some conflict and frustration about shared money in your life. But after June 11th, it's going to be moving into your 9th house. This is the house of higher education, travel, and adventure in general. So when Mars is in this house, you're going to be in a very stir-crazy mood. You're just going to want to get out, do something new, because wherever we have Mars is where we expend some energy. If you are taking some trips during this time, you might run into some frustrations along the way. And if you're in school, it might also be a time where you clash with people like your schoolmates or your teachers as well. Then Venus, the planet of love, beauty, and relationships, starts the month off, and I mean the very first day of the month, in your 7th house. She was mostly there last month too, bringing a bit of harmony and pleasure to your relationships as well. But she's quickly moving into Cancer on June 2nd, which is your 8th house. So when Venus goes into the 8th house, the 8th house doesn't just mean money you share with other people. It's also a deeply, deeply sexual house too. So you could be feeling very physically amorous during this cycle. So hopefully you have a good outlet. And then the 8th house can represent mysteries and hidden things. So you might be really into deep diving on some topic, or, kind of exploring, finding a little pleasure, sort of exploring social taboos as well.
Well, in other relationship news, Juno, which is retrograde this month, is in Sagittarius, and that is your 1st house. So this is going to really bring up a lot of stuff for you about, like, am I a good partner? What kind of partner am I? But most particularly, can I do my usual growth and expansion thing in my relationships? And can I do it without running away, but like while really engaged in a relationship? So Juno is going to be retrograde for several more months. It's been retrograde since last month. It's going to continue until August 2nd. And everybody in the world is going through a relationship retrospection. However, it might feel a bit personal for you, Sagittarius. So that Juno is opposite to Mercury, which Julia was talking about here in the 7th house, is going to bring up a lot of possible miscommunications and, occasions for having a clearing conversation in your partnerships of all kinds, whether for business or personal. And then we've got an eclipse, which is just kind of piling on to this particular set of transits. It brings the sun and the moon together in Gemini, right here where Mercury is in that 7th house. Now, eclipses often bring dramatic experiences, and solar eclipses, they force us to look at our shadow through our behavior or the behavior of others around us. And that is going to show up in your relationship house. So it might be you, it might be your partner. Chances of somebody behaving badly are pretty good. And if you're willing to look at your own shadow and make reparations and clean the thing up, it can turn into a wonderful occasion for connecting. There's another moon coming a little later this month, and that is a full moon right here in Capricorn, which falls in your 2nd house. This is going to bring in some of those 8th house themes that Julia was mentioning about intimacy. The 8th house, as she said, is the house of sharing. So it's about the stuff that's ours that we share with each other, like you and your partner. But then the 2nd house is about what is mine, what belongs to the individual, right? So, and the moon in Capricorn has a tendency to be just as emotional as the moon generally is, but in a little bit more of a clamped down kind of a way. Moon in Capricorn tends to be a little bit more sort of repressive of emotions, which is almost an irony because a full moon is a time when, emotions tend to run high. So this moon in Capricorn might be having a lot of feelings right there in your 2nd house about, security. Am I secure? When I merge with my partner, do I lose myself? Do I lose my possessions? And what are we doing with our money anyway? And what part does my money have in that? And how much of my money can I keep for myself? So that could be emotional as well. You can find out a lot more about both of the moons, the eclipse and also the full moon, on our YouTube channel, Pandora Astrology, in the June 2021 news playlist there. You can also find out the news of the month on our website, pandoraastrology.com. And there you can find your horoscope, you can find readings, you can even take classes. And until next time, we'll see you around the cosmos. Bye.
Bye-bye.